Cat was a ranch horse prior to his mounted shooting career. And before cowboy mounted shooting, Becky was a hunter jumper, so we pulled her from that, put her in a Western saddle and gave her a gun. Becky and Kat left one target out there, but stops the clock with 23.302, and you'll have to add 5 to her overall time. In this sport, you can use any horse or mule that you want. Some horses take to the sport easily, others do not. It's up to your horse's temperament and your desire to train him or her to get used to shooting, turning, and going fast. Some riders will use earplugs for themselves and their horses. Next rider we'll be looking for in the arena is Kara Penley. She comes to us from Temple, New Hampshire. She is the other half to Jared and Penley horsemanship. The Penleys specialize in mounted shooting lessons as well as assisting people with problem horses using their natural horsemanship training techniques. Kara is a level 5 shooter. She's riding her 7-year-old quarter horse gelding, Deuce. Kara stops the clock with a time of 15.091. I will mention that Kara was actually the winner of our first demo of the day. She had a total time of 3 stages of 50.114. So congratulations, your win on show number 1. Not far behind her was actually her husband Jared, followed by Craig McCoskey. Let's see how they handle show number 2 of the day. Now in the arena we have Stephen Roy. He's a men's 3-level rider from Nashua, New Hampshire. He's riding Joe Pony. He's a 13-year-old registered paint. All right, Steve, I believe has been clean on the day. He stops the clock with a time of 22.842. We have different levels in this sport. We have a men's division, women's division, and a seniors division. Classes from 1 to 6 run in each of those divisions. All riders start in class number 1, and when a rider gets a certain number of qualified wins in their class, they advance to the next class. Drew has done just that by advancing to a men's level 2 rider. He comes to us from Norwell, Massachusetts. He's riding Luna, who is a former cattle drive horse, and off he goes on course number 1. All right, Drew stops the clock with a time of 16.372 and clean for Drew and Luna. Our final rider on this stage is Alan Green. Up after Alan, we're going to go ahead and change this pattern up. We hope you'll stick around for that. These riders are going to come through each of these courses. If you're just joining us, please come on in and take a seat up in the stands. We can't have you standing in the aisleways or stairwells. Come on in. The seats are free and it's not raining in here. Alan comes to us from Bethany, Connecticut. He's riding his 12-year-old quarter horse, Trigger. They've only been partners since March of this year. Trigger is new to shooting. His former work was roping, and he likes to chase cows, but now he's chasing balloons. All right, Alan and Trigger stop the clock with a time of 28.593 and clean. So that concludes our first stage of the day. Looks like Kara is holding her title so far. She had an overall time of 15.091. Way to go, Kara. As I mentioned, we're going to just change up this course a little bit. These horses don't get used to these same patterns. They all change a little bit. It takes a little bit more horsemanship for some. These mounted shooters I mentioned are using .45 caliber single action revolvers like those used in the late 1800s. A single action revolver must be cocked each time before firing by drawing the hammer back. Essentially, you're pulling the hammer back to rotate the cylinder, you're bringing a live cartridge into the chamber, releasing, and then pulling the trigger. Keep in mind, they're doing that in between every single target on a galloping horse. It's different from a double action revolver, which can be fired by simply pulling the trigger without cocking the hammer. Despite the use of double action revolvers in the Old West, the CMSA limits our competitions to single action revolvers. Only fixed sight single action revolvers of a .45 Colt caliber designed prior to 1898 or reproductions thereof shall be allowed in CMSA competitions, which again is the Cowboy Mounted Shooting Association. Examples of these firearms are Colt single action Army or Bisley model, Smith & Wesson Schofield, Russian or Remington models 1875 and 1890. Their reproductions, Ruger Vaqueros, Bisleys, or Montados have become very popular among the mounted shooters. The ammo we shoot are blank cartridges called .45 caliber long Colts. The cartridges are loaded with black powder like that used in the 1800s. This load will break a balloon about 15 feet away. But for your safety, our horses, and our riders' safety, we please ask that you come on in and take a seat in the stands. You may notice a little different dress. They can dress in traditional Western style or the old-time style of the late 1800s. Traditional, or also known as the rodeo style, includes a long-sleeve Western shirt, 5-pocket jeans covered by chinks or chaps, Western boots, and a cowboy hat. If you prefer rolling back the clock to the late 1800s and the time of Annie Oakley and Wyatt Earp, trying to look as authentic to the period as possible, you need to wear shirts without collars, high-waisted pants with buttons, not zippers, and an old-style cowboy hat. Stephen Roy, one of our riders today, is demonstrating that very well. And Miss Sue Frost, our range master out on the course, is demonstrating our old 1800s Annie Oakley style. All right, we've got our next stage set up. The object on this course is shoot those 5 white balloons, then round that random red, white, and blue barrel. They'll holster the first gun, turn the blue barrel at the top, and come on back for 5 more green Farm Credit East balloons. All right, we're ready for our first rider back in the arena. This is Molly Wilson. She comes to us from Newton, New Hampshire. She's a full-time dog groomer who owns a Red Iron Horse Farm, but she's not doing that. She's playing this mounted shooting game on Lucas, her 11-year-old quarter horse. Fast gun work there, Molly. Beautiful job. That was a fantastic run, Molly. She's a ladies level 3 rider. She stops the clock with a time of 19.791 and clean. Beautiful way to start that stage off for us, Molly. Thank you. All right, next rider we're looking for in the arena is Dina Barada. She's a ladies level 5 rider. Comes to us from Londonderry, New Hampshire. When she's not playing this game, she's actually a school adjustment counselor in Massachusetts for grades 10 through 12. She's riding Cutie. She took the hard way, but she got it done. All right, Dina and Cutie stop the clock with a time of 20.100, but as I mentioned earlier, knocking over a barrel will cost you an extra 5 seconds, so we got to add that to her overall time. I wanted to mention that Cutie was an 18-year-old Appy. She's obviously very fit and ready to play this game, along with the next horse coming in the arena now. This is Laddie. Laddie is a 28-year-old appendix quarter horse. His name is Ace Diamondstone, his registered name, and everything is special about this horse, Bill says. Bill is a senior men's 2 rider. He comes to us from Mount Vernon, New Hampshire. He said that he loves competition, CMSA, Gymkhana, hunter paces, and he said especially staying out in front of his wife's horse. All right, go get him, Bill. I think Bill just stopped looking at that last one. We left 5 out there, Bill. I don't know what he was thinking there, but Laddie, once again, did a fabulous job. Next rider we're looking for in the arena is Mr. Jared Penley. He's a horse trainer at Penley Horsemanship in Temple, New Hampshire with his wife, Kara. They specialize in mounted shooting training, colt starting, problem horses through natural horsemanship training techniques. Penley's horsemanship slogan is guns, grit, and grace. It makes me think about a line of 45 on my hip and the Lord on my side. I'm going to quote that, Mr. Aaron Lewis, but it makes me think of Jared each time. Watch this fabulous horse run. Jared gets it done with a time of 18.349 and clean. That is our new fast time on stage number 2. Nicely ridden, Jared and Uno. All right, next rider we're looking for in the arena is Craig McCoskey. As I mentioned earlier, he's representing our cavalry division today. Cavalry dress, it has an emphasis on authenticity of uniforming, firearms, saddlery, and other equipment. We're paying tribute to our mounted soldiers of the cavalry here. He comes to us from Upton, Massachusetts, and he's riding Sparks, his 6-year-old Appaloosa mare, who's only in her 2nd year of competition, but you wouldn't know it. He'll stick around later and show us how well she is at shotgun as well. Lance Sparks that stopped the clock at 17.942, but we got 2 out there standing. That'll add an overall 10 seconds to his time. As I mentioned, the riders are scored on time and accuracy, so there's a 5-second penalty for each of those balloons. If you've just joined us, this is Cowboy Mounted Shooting, and we are the Northeast Six Shooters. We ask for your safety as well as our riders and our horses to please come on in and take a seat. These riders and horses will come out at the end of the event to come out and visit with you all, so please stick around. We've got Becky Ricketts in the arena now with her horse Cap. Becky and Kat stopped the clock at 28.499, but we got 2 left standing out there. Next rider we're looking for in the arena is Kara Penley. Kara actually works full-time at Farm Credit East as an agricultural real estate appraiser. She and the Northeast Six Shooters would like to thank Farm Credit for sponsoring the demonstration today, helping us out with all their fancy balloons everyone is shooting at. Kara is a ladies level 5 shooter and has been competing in the sport since 2013. She's riding her 7-year-old quarter horse gelding Deuce. Kara and Deuce stopped the clock with a time of 18.448, but we've got to add 10 seconds for 2 missed targets out there. All right, next rider we're looking for in the arena is Stephen Roy. I mentioned earlier that Stephen is following the Old West attire by wearing the shirts without collars, high-waisted pants with buttons, not zippers. So he's following the old times of Wyatt Earp and those folks. He's riding Joe Pony, who's a 13-year-old registered paint. He said that Joe Pony is still learning how to use his body, but he has the heart of a champion. He's an outstanding trail horse. He loves to jump and does all the little things right that make you say, I've got a good pony. And we hear Steve say that all the time. Go get him, Joe Pony. We'll take that twofer. Go get him, Steve. All right, once again, another clean run for Steve and Joe Pony, a time of 26.376. We've got 2 more riders on this stage. Drew Wallace, a men's 2 rider, and Alan Green, a senior men's 2 rider. But at the moment, Jared Penley is still holding the overall fastest time with a total of 17.942. All right, Drew comes to us from Norwell, Massachusetts. He's riding Luna. He's a video producer from Norwell, Mass, and he finally combined his love of firearms and horses. All right, stops the clock with a time of 20.404, but we got 2 left standing out there. Again, our final rider on Stage number 2 of the day is Alan Green. He's a senior men's 2, comes to us from Bethany, Connecticut. Stick around, folks. We're going to change the stage on this one, but we've learned we can do even a 4th stage, so we've got plenty of entertainment for you this afternoon. I hope you'll stick around. Alan and Trigger make quick work of those first 5. Let's change guns and get to 5 more. All right, Alan and Trigger stop the clock at a time of 28.892 and clean. On that stage, the overall winner was Jared Penley with a time of 18.349, but hot on his heels was Miss Molly Wilson with a time of 19.791, who had a beautiful run. All right, we're going to change this stage up one more time. Again, we change up these patterns to challenge the horsemanship skills of our rider and horse teams. If you're just joining us, this is Cowboy Mounted Shooting. We are the Northeast Six Shooters. Cowboy Mounted Shooting is the fastest growing equestrian sport in the nation. These riders are carrying 2 .45 caliber single action revolvers. Each of them are loaded with 5 rounds of specially prepared blank ammunition. There are no projectiles. The black powder is just enough to singe and pop these balloons. But for your safety, as well as our riders on our horses, we please ask that you come on in and take a seat in the stands. We can't have anyone standing on the rails or in the aisleways. When we're through today, all of our horses and riders will come on out and visit with all of you. So please come down, say hello, meet them, and tell them what you thought about it. I want to thank a few more of our sponsors. We thank Western White House Cowboy Mounted Shooting Blanks for providing the ammunition for today. They provide certified CMSA ammunition. We also want to thank Frosty's Plumbing and Heating out of Ware, New Hampshire. They've been a sponsor for the Northeast Six Shooters for a long time. It's owned and operated by Frosty. And actually the whole family is here today helping out between balloons, range masters, crowd control. Thank you for your support, Frosty. We also want to thank the Lakes Region Riding Academy out of Guilford, New Hampshire, operated by Julie Lawrence. She's been a long-time supporter of the Northeast Six Shooters, provides boarding and lessons. This course is famously known as the double rundown. The riders can choose to shoot either the green balloons or white balloons first. As long as they shoot all 5 of one color, they'll change guns, rounding that blue barrel, and then come home shooting the 5 others. We should tend to see some hot times on a course like this.
If you want to prosecute me, well, you better well prove it. If you're gonna accuse me, well, get down to it. Didn't kill her.
Looks like we're just about ready for our first rider on this stage. We're looking for Molly Wilson. She's a ladies level 3 rider. We have a men's division, a women's division, and a seniors division with classes 1 through 6 in each of those divisions. All riders start in class number 1, and when a rider gets a certain number of qualified wins in their class, they advance to the next class. So Molly has won her ladies 1, ladies 2, and is now in ladies 3. She comes to us from Newton, New Hampshire. She's riding her 11-year-old quarter horse gelding, Lucas, who comes to us from Missouri. Molly stops the clock with a time of 11.502, but unfortunately we got 2 left out there standing. Remember, that's 11.5 seconds, 2 guns, 10 targets, and a single action revolver. Very impressive. Thank you, Molly. Our next rider we're looking for in the arena is Dina Barada. She comes to us from Londonderry, New Hampshire. She's a ladies level 5 rider. She's riding her 18-year-old Appy Cutie. She's been competing with her for 5 years and owned her for about 6. Most people told her to find another horse, but she knew she would do it. And here they are today, made it to a ladies level 5. I could hear her growl from up here. She had a top time of 11.259, but she left more than one standing out there. I'll just leave it at that. Farm Credit Balloons win on that course. But we all have fun. It's a very humbling sport for sure. All right, thank you, Dina. Next rider in the arena is Mr. Bill Very. He's a senior men's level 2 rider out of Mount Vernon, New Hampshire. He's riding Laddie. He's had Laddie for more than 17 years now. He said Laddie takes very, very good care of him. Bill and Laddie giving us our first clean stage on this one, a time of 14.651, getting all those targets. So that would be our overall fast time for this one on the day. Nice ridden, Bill. All right, next rider in the arena is Jared Penley. He is riding his 6-year-old quarter horse gelding called Una. Una only started mounted shooting last fall. This is stage number 6 for Jared today and Una. Let's see how they complete this one. All right, Jared stopped the clock with a time of 10.736, but we got 1 left standing out there. We got to add overall 15 seconds that time. All right, next rider we're looking for in the arena is Craig McCoskey. He's riding his 6-year-old Appaloosa mare Sparks. Comes to us from Upton, Massachusetts. Most recently this year, he and Sparks were the New Hampshire and Massachusetts state shotgun champions. He was also the state shotgun champion in Massachusetts last year. He'll demonstrate that for us later. Here comes Sparks and Craig. We got another clean stage, a time of 11.382. Beautiful job. It makes for a very quick gun change down there too. All right, next rider in the arena is Becky Ricketts. She comes to us from Goffstown, New Hampshire. She's riding her 6-year-old registered quarter horse. His registered name is AC Smart Shine, but she calls him Cat. He was a ranch horse prior to this mounted shooting game, and Becky was a hunter jumper. We certainly converted her. Becky and Kat stopped the clock with a time of 17.269, but we've got one left standing out there. If you're just joining us, this is Cowboy Mounted Shooting, and we are the Northeast 6 shooters. We've got still about another 20 minutes to go, so come on in and take a seat. See what kind of fun we've got going on here. The rain may have brought you in, but I'm sure the action is going to keep you here. Next rider we've walking in the arena now is Kara Penley. She's a ladies level 5 from Temple, New Hampshire. Kara, among a few others here today, are just on their way back from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, competing at the Eastern National Championship. That was a long drive, but these folks like to travel far to play this game. She and her 7-year-old quarter horse Deuce have gotten the green light from our range master. All right, beautiful ride, a time of 11.262 and clean. Beautiful run, Kara. All right, next rider we're looking for in the arena is Stephen Roy. Stephen comes to us from Nashua, New Hampshire. Steve started riding at the age of 40. He said when his frequent flyer miles couldn't get him to Cancun, but did get him to a guest ranch in Arizona. He discovered the world looks better from the back of a horse, and a lot of us here will certainly agree with that. The back of that horse for Steve today is Joe Pony. He's a registered paint, 13 years old. Have we pulled up your wife's playlist, Steve? I'm sorry. Steve's continuing that clean streak on a day, stops the clock at a time of 16.078. Often this game is a family affair, Stephen being one of them. His lovely wife, Jennifer Roy, also competes at Cowboy Mounted Shooting. She's out there on the ground helping us today, but has competed here before. All right, next in the arena we have Drew Wallace. He's a men's level 2 rider, riding his mare Luna. Drew is a video producer from Norwell, Massachusetts, and a second-year rider in the sport of Cowboy Mounted Shooting. He's also a former member of the 75th Ranger Regiment, U.S. Army. Thank you very much for your service, Drew. All right, a time of 11.391 and clean for Drew and Luna. Our overall fast time still stands with Jared Penley at a time of 10.736. All right, our last rider on this stage will be Alan Green. Alan comes to us from Bethany, Connecticut. He's riding Trigger, his 12-year-old quarter horse. They've been together since March. Alan is a lifelong fireman entering his 51st year, including service as a fire chief in the town of Bethany, Connecticut. Thank you for your service as a fireman, Alan. We appreciate that very much. And Trigger Stop the clock with a time of 19.161. All right, folks, we're going to set up one more stage. We found some a little extra time here, but what I want to mention is stage number 2 of show number 4. Kara led that overall stage with a hot time of 11.262 and no missed targets. Well done, Kara. Hot on her heels with less than a tenth of a second in between with a time of 11.382 was Craig McCoskery. Take another minute to thank all of our sponsors. We couldn't come here to put on a demonstration today without them. I'd like to thank Jeannie Lewis Images. She's a excellent photographer that comes to nearly all of our matches, both the Northeast Six Shooters all over the Northeast. We appreciate the fabulous photos she catches of us. Penley Horsemanship, they're here today. You've seen both Kara and Jared ride. Jared is a professional horse trainer. He gives mounted shooting lessons at Triple G Farm in Temple, New Hampshire. And again, these balloons, we couldn't kill all these big bad balloons without the help of Farm Credit East. They sponsored the balloons for this event. They were a member-owned cooperative serving the agricultural credit and financial needs of those in the agricultural area. Mounted Shooting Supplies helps provide all of our supplies for all of our matches and clinics that we have. The Traveling Horseman, Shad Smith, helps out those keeping their trailers in tune and ready for us. We also want to thank Safariland. They make a lot of our holsters that are guns being used today. Southbridge Farm and Nursery. And Western White House Cowboy Mounted Shooting Blanks. They sponsor the ammunition for today's event. They're a certified CMSA ammunition provider. And we want to thank Stereo Video for live streaming our event today. We've got a lot of fellow shooters at home cheering us on, so we appreciate their support there. If you're watching that live stream footage she provides. So we've had time to add another stage today, so we're going to shoot these 5 white balloons first. You have to come between these first 2 whites, turn that blue barrel, change guns, and shoot those 5 green coming home. As I mentioned, we're going to also have a shotgun demonstration, and after that, all of our riders and horses are going to come out here to the arena for a visit. So please stick around. Our first rider, Molly Wilson, is the arena. She's a ladies level 3 rider from Newton, New Hampshire. She's riding Lucas. Molly and Lucas stopped the clock with a time of 12.395, but we've got one left standing out there. And these riders are scored on time and accuracy. There's a 5-second penalty for each missed balloon, so we'll have to add 5 to that overall time. Next rider coming in is Dina Barada. Mentioned earlier, this is a family affair. Both her folks actually ride and compete at Cowboy Mounted Shooting, as well as her husband, Rob. She said she loves it so much that she's actually run the Northeast Six Shooters for 8 years now. This is our president of the Northeast Six Shooters, and we thank her for all her very hard work every year. All right, Tina and Cutie finish up their last stage. Unfortunately, we've got 4 left out there standing, but a time of 11.456. Next rider we're looking for in the arena is Bill Berry. He's a senior men's level 2 rider. Comes to us from Mount Vernon, New Hampshire. He's riding Ace Diamond Stone, better known as Laddie, who is a 28-year-old appendix quarter horse. This beautiful horse is doing so well. We thank Bill for taking such fine care of Laddie, and that's why he's willing to run hard for him still. Bill has another clean run and a time of 16.774. Nice run, Bill. That becomes our new time to beat, 16.774. Jared Penley has stepped into the arena now. He's riding his 6-year-old quarter horse, Uno. All right, we got a great time of 10.777, but unfortunately we've got to add 5 seconds to that overall time. Next rider we're looking for in the arena is Craig McCoskey. He comes to us from Upton, Massachusetts. He's riding Sparks, his 6-year-old Appaloosa mare. When Craig's not playing this cowboy mounted shooting game, he's actually a high school math teacher at Westboro High School. I don't know about you kids, but I'm not sure what your math teacher does on the weekends. All right, I'm thinking we got a new time to beat with a time of 11.280 and clean, says our range master. Our range master is in the arena at all times during competitions to ensure safe riding and shooting is exercised. They serve as a referee and count any penalties for us. If you're just joining us, this is Cowboy Mounted Shooting. We are the Northeast Six Shooters. We've still got a few more runs left in our playbook today. So come on in. We've got a few more riders, and we're going to do some shotgun, and then our cowboys and cowgirls are going to come out for a meet and greet. Here comes Becky Ricketts on Cat. All right, Becky and Kat stop the clock with a time of 19.389, but we've got one left standing out there. Becky happens to be one of the students of the Penleys. Kara Penley coming in the arena now. She is riding Deuce, her 7-year-old quarter horse. Kara is a ladies level 5 and competing since 2013. She works full-time at Farm Credit East as an agricultural real estate appraiser. We want to thank her very much, as well as Farm Credit, for sponsoring the demonstration today and providing all these great balloons for everyone to shoot at. showing those boys how to get it done. Got a time of 11.566 and clean. All right, next rider we're looking for in the arena is Drew Wallace. Drew comes to us from Norwell, Massachusetts. Oh, I'm sorry, it's Stephen Roy. Sorry, Steve. Steve comes to us from Nashua, New Hampshire. He's a systems engineer. He's a men's level 3 rider riding Joe Pony, his registered paint. He said Joe was a Western pleasure pony from Pond Hill Ranch, but he's certainly picked up the pace to play this cowboy-mounted shooting game. They've been mounted shooting since 2008, he and his wife. All right, I believe that makes 7 clean stages for Steve and Joe Pony. Congratulations, Steve. Beautiful riding today. Thank you very much. All right, now we're looking for Drew Wallace in the arena. Again, he comes to us from Norwell, Massachusetts, riding Luna. He said he discovered the sport through his love of horses and firearms, so he put them both together just 2 short years ago, and he's been competing with us ever since. Drew was actually one of the riders that traveled all the way to Tennessee, again, to compete in the Eastern National Championship, and did quite well in his main match as well as shotgun. All right, great way to end the day, Drew. You got a clean run and a time of 12.499. If you're just joining us, we're at the tail end of our demonstration, but this is cowboy mounted shooting. We're the Northeast 6 shooters. These riders are carrying 2 .45 caliber single action revolvers loaded with 5 rounds of specially prepared blank ammunition. These rounds are special to shoot about 15 feet to kill these targets. But for your safety, as well as our riders and our horses, we please ask that you come on in and take a seat in the stands. Here is Alan Green on his 12-year-old quarter horse Trigger. All right, great way to end the afternoon, Alan. Time of 20.412 and clean. All right, one final quick change of the course. We're gonna demonstrate our shotgun. We've got a few riders that have come on here. They're gonna shoot 5 white balloons with their pistol and pull out a shotgun for 2 balloon clusters. Stick around, and then all our cowboys and cowgirls are going to come out to the arena for a meet and greet. Please stick around. All right, just want to mention that we ended up running 4 stages. Kara won stage 1, Jared won stage 2, Kara won stage 3 again, and then Craig won stage 4. Congratulations to all of our riders. All right, we have Craig in there for our shotgun run. Again, 5 with a pistol, and the last 2 clusters with the shotgun. Fabulous run, Craig. Now we know why he is the state champion, both Massachusetts and New Hampshire. Beautiful job, Sparks and Craig. All right, I believe we have 2 more riders in shotgun. Ms. Molly Wilson showing that it's not just boys for the shotgun run. Again, Molly's riding her 11-year-old quarter horse, Lucas. Up after Molly, we'll be looking for Jared Penley. Molly's been shooting for about 4 years now, but she and Lucas were reiners before they got into cowboy mounted shooting. So here they are playing this shotgun game here at the Big E. Thanks again for coming out to see us. All right, still a very nice run with Molly and Lucas. Love the control on that old steed. We got 3 left standing out there, plus a barrel. So unfortunately, we got to add 20 seconds to that overall time. All right, our final rider of the day for our demonstration here is Mr. Jared Penley. Again, coming to us from Temple, New Hampshire. He's riding his 6-year-old quarter horse gelding Uno. Jared said he's truly blessed and thanks the Lord every day that he has the opportunity to live his passion. We don't disagree with that. We love this game. Thanks again to our balloon runners out there. Couldn't do this without you. Thanks, guys. All right, we got another clean run with Uno and Jared, a time of 10.990. And that does take the lead on our 4 p.m. show just by about a second. Congratulations, Jared, for winning that shotgun run. Thank you all very much. We hope you'll stick around. Our cowboys, cowgirls, and their horses are coming on out for a meet and greet. So if you'd like to come on down and tell them what you think about the sport, if you have any other questions, please come on down and see them. Thank you all very much for coming.